Where are you, big kitty cat? Come on. You wanna come say hi? Hey, Ellen. What do you have to say, kitty cat? What do you think? Are you mad? Topic of the day is high strangeness.
It is, isn't it, Kitty?
High strangeness.
Mind your seat? I'm sorry about that. I'm not in the mood right now.
Hey, Chris. I don't know about the explosion. I just know it wasn't a fireworks factory. I think that much is pretty obvious. I was contemplating being the experience when I got this notification. Yep, you came to the right place. This is where you're free to be. So let's... What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You think the explosion was a good sign? Maybe. That's not it. I keep putting her down and she just keeps coming right back up.
She wants my seat.
Hey, Zebextron.
Hey, I can't get up right now. No.
Okay, I'm putting the link for the Zoom in the chat if anybody would like to hop on and share thoughts. I haven't had a guest on for a while, so maybe we could get somebody new who hasn't been on yet. Gulag of a world. What is gulag? Let's find out what gulag is. A system of labor camps maintained in the Soviet Union from 1930 to 1955, in which many people died. Doesn't sound that exciting. So I guess when I'm on the Zoom meeting, then I have a double exposure. There's a small me and there's a medium-sized me.
Fancy.
Is that too fancy?
Too fancy. Just fancy.
So let's go take a look at this explosion again. There was something I wanted to show. Actually, I don't think I saved it. Somebody showed like a military testing of a directed energy weapon. It was not the same. It wasn't Beirut. It was a completely different thing. And the shockwave looked exactly the same. I know you play chess. Gary, have you ever tried the game Go? Ancient Chinese game with black and white circular stones on a grid. I've never played Go. I did hear that DeepMind or AlphaZero was able to master that game and beat the highest level human players, which was a technological feat because that game is supposed to be far more complex than chess. I just got into a mode of some kind, but when I get out of it, I'll call or whatever. Chris, this guy named Chris. Yeah, there's no pressure. Anybody can come in or not come in, doesn't matter. Maybe I should try playing Go. The computers are so good at chess now, it's ridiculous. The highest rated chess player is something like 2870. I think Magnus got over 2900 in FIDE, but the highest computer is something like 3500. And I think the way the ranking system works in chess is every 100 points higher the person is. It's exponential, I think. Is it? So like, yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but being 100 points higher than someone is a lot different than being 200 points higher than someone. It's not sequential. Okay, let's see if we can find this explosion. There were a whole bunch of different views of this one. Last night over Montreal, Canada? What? Look at this.
I want to see something cool.
What is this? What is this? Why do you think the news is choosing a report on it? Well, I don't think you can hide something like that. That'd be like trying to hide that 9/11 happened at all. You can hide lots of stuff, but not something like that. Hey, Thomas. Is Thomas's thing getting out in the mail soon?
Today. It went out today.
Thomas, your order is going out today.
You should have already.
And he is in... Where is he?
Tennessee.
East Coast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was talking about if we get out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your order is going out today, so it should probably be there by Friday, Saturday.
Don't make promises. I don't know what USPS is.
USPS is still pretty good.
The tracking number is in his email.
Okay.
Or it should be.
Beirut. A photographer in Beirut was filming a bride on her wedding day when an explosion suddenly ripped through the Lebanese capital. CNN. It's a bit of an upset on the wedding. It's like it vacuumed out first. You heard like a...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my...
Dude, look at that face in there.
Yeah, this is like a whole monster right here. He's like, "Rawr." That's probably Yaldi right there. It's just coming on out. Hey Michelle, welcome. An IDF source tells Richard Silverstein that Israel's military caused the Beirut blast but had not intended to ignite the ammonium nitrate, instead having aimed for a nearby weapons depot. These guys are really close. Those guys are way too close. I would imagine these people... Yikes. That's like within half a mile. Some media are speculating that Beirut explosion was nuclear. It wasn't. Relax. Was felt nearly 150 miles away in Cyprus? That's not a fireworks explosion. You don't feel a fireworks explosion 150 miles away. There's been a lot of earthquakes in bizarre places. They're not recording that. In one of the videos before the big boom, it looked like mini lightning First name, last name, welcome. Play-Doh, welcome. There was also a blast in China. China. I think on the same day.
There was like 3 blasts yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
There were more yesterday?
Wasn't it yesterday that happened?
I didn't know. I didn't hear about more.
Yeah, there was like 3 at least yesterday.
Jom, hello. Hey, there's my mod, Peter. I forgot I gave Peter the mod ability. I have one moderator. Peter shows up like once every 20 streams. It's a good thing that you guys behave yourselves for the most part. Otherwise, I would need more mods. My dad was actually the one that let me know about this explosion, which is very strange. What the? My dad is not usually the first one to find out about these types of things. Magbam? Who's Magbam? CGI obvious. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this other one that looked similar. Ah, here it is. So this is like a military testing of some type of weapon. And the shockwave looks exactly the same. And if you watch, it will play it in slow motion. And you can see that there is some sort of light coming off to the left before the actual explosion happens. I don't know if that same thing happened with the Lebanon explosion or not, but this shockwave looks exactly the same. See if you watch like right here. Right there. Right here. And then you have the dome shockwave. Mag bitter truth. Only Israel has that kind of tech to make red cloud bombs. Somebody was saying on Facebook that the Rothschilds were trying to take out one of their banks, one of their own banks, to destroy records of some sort. Let's see, there was also China. This. Another type of explosion that I've never seen before. They were saying this was a tanker. You said there were recent ones, huh? I didn't hear about any other ones. Oh wow. Look at this. Someone's lit on fire and running away. Is this the same one? Ay ay ay.
Oh my god.
Wow. 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 Dead man's switch. Couldn't be disarmed. Had to be detonated. I've lost motivation to follow world events. Big explosions seem like a pointless circus. It's not a pointless circus, it's what has been festering for many, many, many years coming out to the surface to be dealt with. That's crazy. Trump even said he thought it was an active war, not just some random explosion. President Orange Tumor. What the funk? As long as we have technology that can replicate and reproduce actual experience, it's going to be a part of our actual experience. Day after explosion in Beirut, huge fire breaks out in UAE. What's UAE? United Arab Emirates? Guess that's what it is. Gary, I really thought and am now surprised you are biting the worm. Fake explosions. These are not fake explosions. I know there is the thing that says, there's the mat thing that says nothing is real, but that's not true. Plus, you can't talk shit on watching things through a screen while you're watching me through the screen. How's that work? That doesn't work. Bardo. It feels like things are about to go nuts. Beirut, Lebanon, massive explosion, hoax exposed. It's not usually that the explosion itself is fake, it's usually that causes and motives for it are covered up. Or said to be something other than it was. You're saying this is CGI right here? This is CGI?
It's on too many people's mobile phones to be CGI.
Yeah, there are many different videos of it.
The story actually broke because it was on social media, not because the media brought it out.
Mm-hmm.
They had to bring it out because it was all over social media.
It feels like things are about to go nuts, but it always feels that way. It already went nuts when COVID hit. It actually already went nuts way before that. Ben had been going nuts. It's just going nuts on a scale now that the average Joe can see it, rather than everyone like, la-di-da, go to work, go to school, everything's normal. It's clearly not that anymore. It's the end of the world as we know it, and we'll be fine. Yeah, of course. It's always fine. Even when it's not. It's always fine even when it's not. I mean, you can take any theory you want. There's the theory that we're in a simulation. And you could say every single physical thing that happens inside of the sim is fake. At a certain point, you have to just play with it and not like get mad at conceptualizing that happens around whatever's apparently happening, because then you're not even allowing yourself to experience what's appearing to happen. Because if you slap the label on there that says it's CGI or everything is fake, you're lessening the impact of the thing. You're shielding yourself. Things already went nuts when every city in America was set on fire. Yeah. I mean, the control structure showed itself after COVID. And it showed its upside down nature after it became apparent that the virus was either non-existent or nothing like what anyone was saying it was. And the fact that every major city in America has staged riots, planted bricks. Soros is funding BLM. Meadows defends Trump's description of Beirut explosion as an attack. Officials dispute Trump's claim that Beirut was attacked. I mean, how can you say that this is CGI? There are so many different angles. There's just no possible way. No possible way. I want to fly honestly. Well, see, the the thing about the magical powers is that we are already there. There are beings who are wielding magical powers. For the negative and for the positive, and that's why everything looks so insane right now. Because it got out of hand. Very much so out of hand. Look at this fire, look at this. Andrea, look. The Middle East. And we haven't even got to the part where there's not enough food. We haven't hit that part yet. We haven't gotten to the food shortages.
Yes.
Oh. This.
That was before the explosion or what?
This is just another fire.
Oh, yeah, there's been a bunch of and plasma strikes that people were trying to say they're lightning strikes, but they're definitely not lightning strikes. That is some black smoke, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a Watchtower magazine. Sure does.
They probably used their little looking glass thing to find out what the plume looked like. Wow, thought it was an explosion. Oh, there were airplanes flying above it? See, like, this type of thing could be edited. It's a still shot, you can edit in little dots above the thing.
Sure, yeah.
But you can't just... It's very difficult to say that whole entire thing was CGI. I can't buy that. This is even another one. There are so many different people just getting cell phone footage. Like it ripped a hole in the entire dock. The water came around.
Mm-hmm.
Residents who filmed this video died. Wow. Thomas says, hello, Andrea.
Hi, Thomas.
Secondary blast looks Hollywood to me. it's a different type of weapon. It's like a sonic weapon, or it's some sort of high tech.
In Beirut, airport. I mean, not airport, airport.
It says these people died. The ones that are filming this. I don't know how they would have got there.
Why is their phone so?
Yeah, why is their phone not dead? Humans are a little more fragile than phones, though.
شو هو هيدا الصوت؟ يا مشحرة فوت 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 عيمان فوت فوت يا ماما يا ماما يا ماما عيمان فوت بليز بليز فوت بليز بليز يا مشحرة يا الله
Faces, yeah.
شيء أكبر يا الله يا الله يا الله إن شاء الله ما حدا يصير شيء تعال فوت فوت عيمان بليز تعال فوت فوت go inside go عيمان عيمان فوت سكر لي إزاز بليز
I guess phones are still recording.
Phones are durable. Michelle says hi also.
Hi, Michelle.
So that's enough explosions, I think. We know that things are happening. I think at some point the supply chain for food is going to be interrupted somehow, and people aren't going to be able to eat, and that's when actual violence is going to start happening.
Let's not get on that timeline.
Yeah, let's try to avoid that one. Nobody wants to come on, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, how is everybody with family? Are family members starting to see? Ask a few questions? Not really? No? I don't understand how it's even possible. I don't get it. Hey, Charlotte. Cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias runs deep. I hear something moving around in the woods. You hear that? Is there a Bigfoot out there?
I hear it.
Yeah. Kitty, what's out there? Go check it out. Be the guard cat. You hear something out there? I needed a little cat cuddle too. After all the explosions. Yep. Do you guys listen to Lisa Harrison at all? Do we have any Lisa Harrison fans in here?
Oh, you're gonna get some conflict on that one. People think she's awful.
Is she controversial?
Yes.
Not so good with family, massive lack of critical thinking, and I'm the nut.
Yay for nuts.
Her channel is just called Lisa Harrison, right?
Yeah, her videos are usually titled Deconstructing the Construct.
Yeah, if you search Lisa Harrison or Deconstructing the Construct, you'll find Lisa. Something, Lilu, right, was the name of the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Started talking through her computer, and it was, is it AI? Is it?
No, she is under the impression that it's a group from home that found us and have been trying to work to resolve the problem.
From her perspective, this is a video game, right?
Yeah.
3D immersive video game that got very corrupted. File got very corrupted, and the person who made the video game got locked out. I think immediately after it launched was how the story went.
I don't know if it was immediate or soon after, but yeah.
Soon
Got locked
after.
out.
So whatever, if there was some group or entity that hacked the system, the person or being who coded it wasn't able to get in to make any corrections.
But I think it was a group that was, I mean, that's what I think.
Lisa M. Harrison, yeah.
I know Aurora thinks that Lilu is Lisa's, like, bigger self, higher self. And
Yeah.
that she's just connected with her, that part of her. It's not actually anything beyond that.
She thinks it's bullshit.
I think, not fully, but yeah, partially. I think a lot of people think that. A lot of people think that her computer is, like, she's under a psyop, and that somebody has hold of her computer and is making her think that it's communication from somewhere else.
I see.
That's the whole conflict with that.
I think I mean, it's essentially channeling, right? Some sort of.
Yeah, and
ish.
she's not just going off of what's going on with her computer. It's all of the doings that she does, the energetic work that she does by herself and with her group.
Mhm.
They all see, not all of it, that a lot of them can see, and they go in and they do things
Okay.
together, and they see the results of them later in confirmation.
Are you saying you don't like her, Peter? I think there's a huge stumbling block for most people, and that is the objective truth thing is still very much stuck in most people's heads as if there is a set reality,
Mm-hmm.
and they have trouble like seeing that it's fluid, because if you're going to manifest something that is mostly for you, or possibly for you and other like-minded individuals, there has to be some way of not having every single person in the realm experience that whole same thing. There has to be some separation between that.
Mm-hmm.
So your mind has to be capable of either seeing that parallel realities are happening in the same plane of existence, or that there are divergent branches constantly happening always, that there are evidence of the sort of sprout in whichever reality you're currently in, but you're not necessarily hanging out on the same branch as everybody. But to see that the tree itself is not a set tree, it's a tree of like it's like a probability haze tree, something like that. If you can see it as that, then you don't have so much problem with someone. You don't have a problem with any of it. If somebody says, anything, make up anything on the spot, and then rather than saying that's true or that's not true, then you see that person is speaking into existence the possibility of that exact conceptual manifestation, and I can either buy into that to whatever extent and start solidifying it in my own reality, or I can say no thank you, but it doesn't even go into the whole this is true or this is not true thing. Because I think that mindset generally tends to immobilize us. If you're just saying this is true or this is not true, you're mostly paralyzing yourself. Lisa is in Lululand.
See, I told you. People are very divided on her.
NPCs do have a set reality, prisoners in a cage. Yeah, if you're just a program running a script, then of course you have to be in a set reality, and then anyone else who's not in that, i.e. creator beings, they're going to either appear to you as some sort of anomaly, or you're not going to be able to really see them. You'll see like some sort of movement, but they won't really appear to you because your brain can't comprehend it. Like the, how they said the natives, when Columbus supposedly first landed, they said they didn't even see his ship because they had never seen a ship before, so their brain didn't register it. I don't think she thinks it's false, Peter. I don't get that feeling from her. I get the feeling that she believes it completely. There's a lot of obviation going on in the quote-unquote alternative media movement. I think a reasonable way to look at it is just see that your reality is narrated to some extent by yourself and by family and friends, and unfortunately partially by the media, but it's a story. You can narrate what happened in your own day in the last 12 hours, and your narration is not going to be accurate. It's going to be somewhat accurate, but there are going to be issues with it. And then you have the telephone game that goes on immediately if you start telling someone else about even a direct experience that you had. So it's inaccuracies compounded by the telephone game effect from the get-go. Even if you have people trying to tell the truth, there still is going to be distortion, even one layer removed. Even if you tell yourself, think back on my day. What did I do today? I went to work, I drove, hung out with the client, came back, picked some blackberries, and then you can add a bunch of specifics and street names and road names, and you can get into the specifics of your feeling state with each and every situation. But it's breaking down, though, from the moment that you start talking about it. There's the NPC who imposed a prison yard psychology on any of their relatives who happen to awaken. Yeah, I mean, the NPCs act as handlers to some extent. Because even if you're not following Lisa Harrison, her exact model, if you can take the idea that this could be an immersive 3D video game type thing, then you can also take the idea that the file could be corrupted. And then from that point, whether Lisa is accurate or not, or whether, it's something like we're all in the halls of a mentee, creating a shared dream experience from there, or you could take Becky Barron's thing, which says there's this egg-shaped thing with a spider on either end, with 110, with 1,020 tentacles or whatever on each side. And our bodies in there, our light bodies, are projecting this reality. If you take the stance, this one's false. Lisa Harrison is full of shit. Becky Barron is not. Like if you whitewash, it's generalizing, really. Generalizing is, I wouldn't say it's dangerous. It's just limiting. It limits your own ability to create your reality conceptually in a manner that isn't mind fracturing. I haven't been having strange dreams, but I've been having more dreams than normal, and I've been able to recall more than usual. Most of the time I have dreams and I wake up and they just disappear like they never existed. Hey Nigel. I think if you take it like, I've read books even where they employ that literary technique, which is a character in a book literally says to his, I think they did this in Illuminatus trilogy actually. One of the characters said at some point, he was like, "This feels like we're in a book. This feels like we're literally the characters in a book and someone is writing out what we're going to do right before we do it." Inside the book, the character said that. So then the reader himself is bouncing back and forth between all of these perspectives, and then you can employ you can employ that technique to your own life, which is you bounce back and forth between whatever you consider to be the part of you that's outside of this particular reality. Something is something is managing the overall thing. So go to that part and find out if you have any pull in the situation. And if you do, then you go in there, go into your dream state, and just like write in, you write in the code for what you'd like to experience. And of course you can't do that if you're operating from some sort of fear or like a lack mindset, because you have to be playing the victim mentality for that, and by definition you're not allowed to determine what happens to you as the victim. That's the whole definition of a victim, is bad shit that is out of your control is what happens to you. So you don't get to sit there and say, well, I would like to be this exact type of victim and I would like my aggressor to look like such and so. You're not able to have that sort of control. I listened to Lisa Harrison and Danny Arnold McKinney. Long time. They split. I heard about that. Is Danny Unfuckers? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interpretive dance, and if we stop dancing, the music and magic stops. That's my best guess. I don't know if it ever stops, to be quite honest. If you're operating from the 0 point, then it's stopped anyway from that perspective, and from that perspective nothing has ever happened, so... If you're aware of that, then you don't ever have to worry about it any of the manifest world, because that's all happening within the void. And the void does not give a shit. What's your best advice for people that are awakening? I would say curiosity, but the situation looks so absurd right now that if someone came to me and said, what's going on in the world, and I said, just be curious, go on the news and find out what kind of things are happening, and, just knock on random people's doors and introduce yourself, and, go where the tide pulls you. It doesn't work. I think curiosity is probably the best mindset to happen if you're simply in manifest form and you're wishing to create and move, dance, whatever, draw a picture, or creatively, collaboratively interact with the other beings or animals that are there. But this situation is so compromised, it's hard to pull out from the realm itself the dreams and goals that you would have as a normal being inside of a realm that's not weaponized. Because there are a whole lot of pitfalls and landmines, underwater mines. There are mind mines. The thing is so weaponized from top to bottom and just confused at the same time. If your mind goes through this dimensional sieve enough times, and you fractal in and out enough times, and you have to deal with time speeding up, time slowing down, and compounding all this shit, and you pop out on some end of a wormhole, or you come back to the body and forget everything. If all this type of stuff happens too many times in a row, then the mind can fracture, and you can't even. There's not a personality that makes it through. Hey, Dream of Mirrors from Romania, welcome. Viral Keeler. It's also amazing if you know how to look at it. If bot, I guess you're living in fear and probably scared and confused. I don't know if bots can feel fear. A bot is just a process. I don't know. When I talk to what I consider NPCs, I just feel like there is no internality, is what I call it. I feel like there's no living essence inside of that body that is feeling and looking outwards. It feels like it's just something on the screen. And if that is the case, then there isn't any fear, because you need that for fear. I keep going into nature, but I still feel the pulls. Nature doesn't really. If you could just live with nature, if you could live in the forest and not have to go back to the society all the time, then that would be great. But I feel like that whole get back to nature thing, it's good, but this shit storm that we've been building up here, it has to be just seen and felt and lived through, and maybe we all die, or these bodies die. I'm not sure. Hey, Aurora. Aurora's in the house. Maybe Aurora, you want to come on for a couple minutes? I always invite people on, but nobody ever wants to come on for the most part. I don't know why.
Scary.
Is everybody scared? There's no need to be scared. Natural helps me see the dualities. I am in my pajamas, my hair is in curlers. That's the best time to go live. You're feeling funky. What do you think about all these explosions, Aurora? What's your take on the Beirut thing? Thanks for touching on these deeply nice conversations. What does that mean? That's what I meant about interpretive dance, adaptation of environment, and diversity of dance moves. Hey, Maya. Maya's here too. Explosions, what? You don't know about explosions, Joe? Maybe it's not happening for everybody. Did you guys, are there people wearing masks in your realities? Something called coronavirus? Does everybody have that in their reality? Just look up Beirut explosion. Even in cars. Aurora says she doesn't know anything about the explosions. When this happened, just like a couple days ago, right?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday? Oh my god. I feel like my sense of time is just completely gone.
You never have a sense of time.
I can. I don't get your invites. I have to go. The music is playing. Let's chat soon. Take care, Nigel. Why don't you get my invites? You have to click on the little bell thing, and YouTube probably unclicks it for you, like a week after you click it, so you gotta keep doing it. I'm in California and we have masks everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I heard Australia is trying to really go fully nuts with their draconian bullshit. Where was it? Germany that all the people got up and protested the actual coronavirus thing?
I think so.
That's all everybody needs to do is just stop going to work, because your work is probably a bunch of dumb shit, and just go out into the streets, talk with your neighbors. All you have to do is have a very simple conversation that's like, yeah, there's some nasty thing ruling us. We don't know exactly what it is, but we know based on all of the insanity that is being pumped out that we don't like it. So we're just going to stop listening to, turn off all the TVs, and we'll just live our lives. Throw away all the papers. That's all you have to do. Dude, I totally don't want to go back to work. Yeah, just don't go back to work. But you have to have some support, and you don't need the whole city to do it with you necessarily. Just like it's a matter of taking a leap of faith into your own possibility of how to interact with what presents in your moment. I don't mean what presents in your mind or via the TV in your mind. I mean via your actual moment. Because most people aren't in that. They don't know what that is for the most part. The thing that got hacked was everybody's mind. Everyone got MK Ultra'd. The whole society. The fuck is that?
What pig?
That was the weirdest noise. 1.4 million in Germany. How did we not get it? I mean, you probably did get it to some extent. I know that I know that the mind virus is not sitting there like, I think I'll take this person, I'll leave that one. That guy looks like he's too nice for me. It tries to get everybody. So many people in my area think they will get sick and die if they stop wearing masks. I'm the lone bare face on the street. That's from Aurora.
That's so fucking crazy, dude.
You can make your own products or provide something people need, and you can make money. The fear is intensifying by the month. The people need society to be their safe space, not realizing that it doesn't exist, nor did it ever. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Society does not exist.
Safe space does not exist.
Safe space does not exist. In fact, none of it exists. Really. I mean, life itself is a group hallucination, but it's a miraculous group hallucination, and it can go really badly, but it can also be, it's like either side is real. So if it can go this much bad, it can go this much good. The pendulum swings back and forth. We have to see the value in ourselves. Hard for me to grasp because my confidence was very fragile as a teen. Now as an adult, I realized I knew something about reality and such. Yeah, and in this society, since the herd is MK Ultra from birth essentially, then if you ask questions about it, you are told that you're insane. You are told that you're insane. And then if you push on far enough with that, then you're going to get, you know, your trazodone, and you're going to get your, whatever all these medicines are called, Invega shot, lisopronol. There's a whole bunch of medicine that are for loony people. And the loony people are just the people that actually were curious about their reality and they had questions. That sounds like a Bigfoot. On the bus. Steven got a Bane mask. I thought that was pretty cool. I got one of the what are they called? What's that movie? V for Vendetta.
Guy Fawkes.
The Guy Fawkes Anonymous mask. I got one, but when I put it on and went inside of the stores, like the people are so brain dead they didn't even react differently to that I was wearing that than that I was wearing like whatever Native American mask I got from my other work. So it wasn't even fun. That's the actual situation. Is most of the people walking around they're like vegetables. They're actual when you compare them to like a vibrant, living, dancing, moving, conscious being. They're like vegetables. They're walking dead. So if you're thinking of your own life as some sort of a show for yourself and the other people around you, it's like the whole audience is robot. They're dead. There's nobody to watch the show except for yourself. I thought about putting pantyhose on my head for public.
Hell yeah.
Take care, Lee. They were vegetables before, it's just more noticeable now. Yeah. Linear crazy people are not the ones who question. Crazy people are the ones who think they found answers and don't know and to keep silent. Yeah, there is that too. There is that too. I've been in cloaked mode like since I started this channel. It's like talking about it but not talking about it. But it's only cloaked in terms of my own internal state, which I know reflects out onto the screen. So to someone else it could look like Gary's running his mouth off about all these things, but it's not the same as someone who's running their mouth off while being scared of some sort of energetic repercussions because their inside is doing flip-flops. It's different. I really think it's 5G and nano making people into vegetables. They're all intellectually disabled now. Very few real people left. Maybe. Maybe it's the tech. I don't know. Maybe they just like took all their MK Ultra findings, you know, when they were dousing people with LSD in the 60s and whatever else they did, horrifying bullshit. They took all that and they just like encoded it into the 5G system, just piped it out to the airwaves so everybody can I think it becomes machination at some point. It just becomes like this automatic rollout, just like how you have, you know, in the workforce when you're looking at the progression of, they call it advancement of technology. You have systems starting to replace the humans, and then you have the human role becomes less and less numerically speaking, and at the same time their role becomes, it needs less and less intelligence. So like I went into Freddy today and everyone's wearing masks, and the checkers, they don't, like, you don't need to have any knowledge now to be the ones pulling the lever of the store. You just pull the lever, like a little light goes on, bing, it's a green light, pull down. If it's a red light, pull up. And that's just what you do all day. Like that's the role that checkers perform. And almost everything else is systems oriented now. Like the assembly line taking over, people actually building the car part and individually inspecting each part, measuring everything to make sure the tolerances are correct and the tensions and this and that. And then eventually machines are taking over more and more of it. And then you inevitably get to the thing that is like, well, what are humans supposed to do now that machines are doing everything? Well, ideally you're supposed to get to the point that's like outside of our corrupt financial system, which is debt-oriented and wrong in the first place. We have machines doing everything, so we don't need to have this whole I derive my value from whatever role I've been performing in society. You put your value based off of something else. It's no longer your value as a human being has to adapt itself. And we can't say any longer like the people can't eat or have housing because they don't make enough money, because there are no jobs. That mindset, which apparently is the hive mindset, is the dumbest mindset you could possibly think of. There's no knowledge, no intelligence, no anything in there. There's just nothing. Even when people talk about votes, it's just you're not even approaching the reality at all. You can be creative. I could write a book that says, oh, machines took over everything, and they had to just completely get rid of their financial system because the numbers no longer reflected what was going on in the reality whatsoever at all. Oh, and also they had a parasitic, debt-based usury system based off of straw men, and eventually the people realized this is a bunch of bullshit, so they just torched it. And they went back to the tally stick, or they went back to trade, or they came up with anything else. Anything else. Like, to see what they talk about on the news, you can't watch that without turning into a vegetable. You have to like, you become taken. There aren't other options if you keep watching that shit. Everyone's tripping, but it's the brown acid. What's brown acid? Is it like tainted acid? I wish everyone would just have compassion for people in all stages of awareness. Keep remembering love and unconditional love. We're stuck looking at black boxes, not interacting with each other. Thanks, Joe. Good night. I think it has come to the point to where the whole thing as the corporate machine is, it's outing itself as I am fully machine. And therefore I don't have the means and the resources to adapt myself organically to what's occurring here. So therefore the things that I put out, the mandates, the laws, the rules, the suggestions, the anything that I put out necessarily will look insane because they will have no longer any ties to the reality that's presenting itself whatsoever. That's what's happening here, though. The machine itself, which is the corporate corpse oration system, speaking dead, it's a death system. It's a stupid death system hiding itself, pretending that it's something that cares about humans, but it doesn't care about humans, and it doesn't even know it exists. It's the Yaldabaoth Ouroboros shit that is literally running it, and whatever real or organic humans are somewhere inside of that control structure at some point have to say, well, this shit doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and they raise their hand, hello, this is hurting me, this thing that you say is for your safety is hurt, ow, like it hurts, ow, 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 stop. And they're like, no, that's your opinion that it hurts, but this is for your safety, and so on. It's going to keep descending until, it gets really fucking bad, or else people are just like, I'm done, this is stupid. My comment disappeared. I'm gonna get some water. Yeah, I've seen televangelists. It is pretty funny. What was that guy's name? That crazy guy? Benny Hinn?
Yeah. The guy that slaps people over.
Yeah, and they just convulse on the ground. What do you say, kitty cat? She just wants to chase after bugs. She doesn't have a lot of needs. Actually, she does have some needs. She yells at us every morning for food, huh? Huh, kitty? Yeah?
She got plenty of needs.
She can knock everyone off stage with a whiff of his hand. Yeah. Billy Graham. Did Billy Graham do that kind of stuff?
No. They just Scientologists. They don't do that. They just tell you, you're going to hell.
You going to hell, you gonna burn. What's the most stupid, ironic thing to do to people that are currently inside of a hell realm? Don't let them know that they're in the hell realm, first off, and then threaten them that if they don't behave correctly in a completely rigged system, they're going to go to hell. That's what you do.
Good plan.
It's like Double Jeopardy. That's Double Jeopardy, huh? Yeah.
I'm seeing if I can finagle my own nose ring.
Yeah?
I don't know if it's gonna look good. It might just look like an ugly booger.
Maybe. There's something called a Lion's Gate coming up.
Hear me more.
We need to all turn into... Well, we don't need to turn into anything, but... We just need to override the NPC / machine world. Eight 2020. And that is what day?
Soon.
That is Saturday. Lionsgate portal is the gateway is marked by an alignment between Earth and the star Sirius. As the star Sirius rises in the sky, Orion's belt directly aligns with the Pyramid of Giza, and from our perspective on Earth, it appears that Sirius, which is the brightest star that we can see, comes closer to Earth. Sirius is twice the size of our Sun and 26 times brighter. Good night, Aurora. You want to come on Sunday? I haven't had a guest on for a while, so I'm down to have you on Sunday if you'd like. Who was the last guest I had on? Was it Aurora?
Probably.
Maybe it was Becky.
Maybe it was.
Let's see. Let us find out. Yep, it was Aurora. 3 weeks ago. And before that, it was Becky, 1 month ago. Yeah, I don't know if, I don't usually feel when there's supposed to be some portal or shift or something, even like the eclipses and stuff, I don't tend to feel those that much. But doesn't mean you can't feel it. I'm a snail. Good night. Good night, Peter. They're using a ramped up manifestation powers against us. C. Noble. Who's C. Noble? C. Noble. C. Noble a new sub? Ah, yes. C. Noble is a new sub. Welcome to C. Noble. I think Aurora cut out and off before she heard my invitation. But I'm a snail new friend. Okay. Did you add me on Facebook too? Is that you who messaged me right now? Hey Dustin. I use a grounding mat during sleep. Okay, cool. I think this is winding down. What is today? Today's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
That whole work week thing is still going on, isn't it?
Why?
I don't know. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out. This was a fun one. The more self-work that everybody does, the less explosions that have to happen on the face of the planet. That's a fact.
Do your part.
So, anywho, thanks again. I'll probably see if Aurora can come on Sunday, so we'll have perhaps a live stream with her. If not, I will see you when I see you. Peace. Why doesn't it have an end button? This is ridiculous. It's doing this shit again. Why? Why? So silly. Share. Stream marker. Good night, Megan. Good night, Maya. C. Noble. Rodney. Everybody. Good night. I think I'm just going to end this stream by stopping the OBS.